and licensing changes within the context of what our overall product solution looks like. And then we'll delve into the specific component of the extended modules where we are making some changes to our packaging and licensing and how customers purchase our products from us. So as most of you are aware, ForScout provides the ability to see devices the moment they connect to the internet, so all IP-enabled devices that come onto customer networks. And then we are able to provide the ability to apply various types of controls to these devices. So you can actually take action to reduce your attack surface as well as to implement security policies, network and host-based security policies on all of the devices that are connecting to the network. And finally, we orchestrate information sharing amongst the various security tools that an organization has, because whether it is to reduce your attack surface or perhaps when bad things do happen, because we all are aware that breaches and bad things do occasionally happen, then your security tools can actually work as a fabric to really help you either reduce your attack surface or to help respond to a particular threat or breach and minimize the impact from that breach. So let's talk about these three areas in a little bit more detail, and this is definitely going to be relevant to the folks who are fairly new partners with us. So let's start with C. The basic premise here is that you can't protect what you can't see. A customer needs to understand their attack surface and what can hackers exploit. And without understanding that, it's very difficult for an organization to really figure out what are the types of controls that should be in place to prevent these attacks or to respond to them when they actually do happen. So we always start with our very unique value proposition, which is that we are able to show customers all IP-connected devices that come on their network. And we do it by not relying on agents to give you this visibility. There are a lot of systems that require agents on various devices, and agents are just a small piece of software that has to sit on each device to be able to report on that device. And we don't rely on that, and I'll explain what the unique value prop is from an agentless standpoint, because agent-based systems can never really cover 100% of what's on your network. So first of all, and I've got this little graphic here that I'm going to talk about. First of all, we see your managed devices on your network, and managed devices are typically corporate-issued devices, devices that a company has issued to their employees, whether they be laptops or tablets or phones. And we're able to see these devices, but unlike agent-based systems, which often can't see a subset of these devices because either a security or a management agent is broken, like your AV is out of date or you're behind on patches in certain systems, you just don't get that visibility. We're also able to give you visibility into that element of your those endpoints on your network. Now, that's just the managed corporate domain. Then there is a growing unmanaged domain of endpoints on everyone's network, and this includes both BYOD and guest devices that folks bring onto the network, their own personal devices, as well as increasing number of IoT devices. And a lot of enterprises actually don't think they have a lot of IoT, but when you start really talking about all of their physical security systems that they have on the network, their VoIP phones, their printers that they have on their network. For various verticals like healthcare, you've got medical devices. For manufacturing, you've got manufacturing equipment on the shop floor, the machine floor. Retail, again, has a lot of connected devices for retail. All of these devices are now IP-enabled, and so they're really IoT. And so this growing domain of unmanaged devices, which includes BYOD, guest, and IoT, is something that largely goes unseen by agent-based systems because you can't put an agent on these systems. So we're able to provide you complete visibility to the entire set of your managed as well as your unmanaged devices using our agentless approach, and really eliminate any visibility gap that you have. And as I said at the beginning of this slide, you can't secure what you can't see. So the first step in providing any kind of security is to get that 100% visibility into what's connected on your network. And that's what we really mean by C. Now, once you're able to figure out what your devices are and what the attack surface is, you want to obviously reduce your attack surface, because the idea here is to, firstly, try to prevent bad things from happening, right? So how do you go about reducing your attack surface after you know everything that's on your network? That's what we really mean by our control, our second set of capabilities. Now, when we talk about control, it can be kind of a scary word sometimes to some IT leaders. They may go, wait a minute, are you talking about automated, like controls where you block things, et cetera? And the answer is, not necessarily. Our system is a policy-based system. It provides you various levels of control that you can apply based on device type, based on user, based on where they're connecting, based on their security posture. So it's a very, very flexible system that allows you to vary your control objectives from very modest controls, such as just alerting the administrator if something were to happen, to, or alerting or informing them, to perhaps taking more evasive, more stringent actions on certain types of devices or on certain types of non-compliance, because you know that that is something that's really bad and you just want to prevent that from happening. So these are our control capabilities that we provide customers to help them reduce their attack surface and ideally preventing breaches or infections within their enterprise. Now, we're all seeing these, all of the breach headlines in newspapers, and so we know that when you can see everything on your network, you can take the preventative actions to help you minimize the threat of infections or attacks, but eventually there are times that things may happen that's beyond your reach. So when these breaches and infections happen, that's where our third set of capabilities comes in place, which is called Orchestrate. This is where we work with all of the other security systems that our customers have to really orchestrate response and automate security workflows. And I've shown a number of categories of various third-party products that we integrate with. We use our Forescout Control Fabric architecture, which is our orchestration architecture to work with third-party systems, whether they're systems like next-gen firewalls, SIEMs, vulnerability assessment systems, advanced threat detection systems, the list goes on. We actually work with 70-plus third-party systems to help you enable orchestration for automating your workflows and for responding to infections or breaches. I'll take a simple example here. When you've got your advanced threat detection system discovering that there is potential malware going towards a certain IP address, or they may have been infected because that IP address is communicating to a command and control server, it can provide that information to Forescout, and we are able to, because of our network controls, quarantine or contain that particular device so it can no longer communicate externally, but also more importantly, it can no longer communicate laterally within your network, because lateral communication with your network is what causes you the infection to propagate to other devices, because an infected device can then search for other devices with the same vulnerability and pass on the malware to those particular devices. So this is an example, just one example of how we help orchestrate with various other third-party products. And the way we deliver these orchestrations are through our extended modules, which is what we're going to talk about a little bit around how we are packaging and licensing our extended modules, which is a little bit different than how we did in the past. So let's talk about why we are making these packaging licensing changes. The first main reason is that, I walked you through our see, control, orchestrate message. It resonates with customers. It's very, very clear. See is all about discovery and understanding your attack surface. Control is all about reducing your attack surface. And orchestrate is all about responding when, despite all of the preventative actions, there are times when infections or breaches occur. And so customers are actually deploying our product in that way. They're actually starting with the C capabilities because they're foundational to everything else. And then they're moving to control and orchestrate. And so we want to align our product packaging and our licensing to our messaging. We also want to really talk in terms of software and not hardware appliances, because that's where our real value is. And we want to make sure that we can align what we sell to our customers' need, so we can actually minimize discounting pressures as well as enable future upsell opportunities. And all of this, we feel, is going to make it easier for you guys to quote and sell our products to our customers, as well as for customers to basically consume our products. So that's the entire idea behind these packaging and licensing changes that we're making, to really align it and say, this is how we speak to our customers. Whether we're talking about our capabilities, about our licensing, we always talk about see, control, and orchestrate. So the area that we are focusing on this quarter is our orchestrate part, which I mentioned are our extended modules. So like I said, what we're trying to solve for here is to make it easier for customers to try our extended modules using 90-day trials and purchase our modules. And the idea behind that is to really drive higher attach rate for our extended and orchestrate modules, because once customers understand the value proposition that we deliver through orchestration, they really get excited about it, they understand the need for it, and they understand that they are not able to get that today. So it really becomes a very, very desirable part of our portfolio. So that's what we're solving for. Now, what are the changes we're making to help us sell more of these modules? Today, our modules are packaged in bundles, bundles that are based on sort of product families. We sell a package called an ATD module. We sell a package for an MDM, for SIM. And under these packages, you have the ability to integrate with multiple products. Multiple third-party products under that sort of product family. We're switching that and going to a much more straightforward a la carte packaging approach. I'll show you the details on the next slide, where pretty much we're getting rid of the family approach and going to sell you exactly what product you want to orchestrate with. As part of that, we're also obviously changing our naming convention for our modules, and we're simplifying the way we have skewed our modules in terms of how customers would purchase these. The other change we're making is that we're introducing 90-day trials instead of our current 30-day trials. We believe that this will enable customers to try our products for a reasonable period of time and really understand the value these orchestrations provide. And finally, in today's world, we used to provide something called an integration module bundle. This was a bundle of our 7 modules that we provide today. And for customers who wanted to buy more than 1 or more than 2 or 3, it was a good purchase mechanism. But as we go into the a la carte module world, where we'll have 20 going to 30 and 40 modules over the next 12 months, providing a bundle of all of these modules was just not a viable approach, where you're talking about 40 modules and figuring out how do you price a package of those. So we're going to retire that integration module bundle, and I'll give you details about how the transition will occur, because you guys may have some customers who you've already quoted the integration module bundle for. Now, equally important is what is not changing. There are a few things that are not changing about the way we package our modules. We offer our modules, just like all of our other components, ForceGuard components, as a perpetual license with a maintenance component on top of that. That is, we're going to continue that with our modules. We also license all of our products by endpoints. So you decide how many endpoints do you want Counteract for and the modules for it. That is also staying as is. And finally, module licenses can be applied to our enterprise manager, which is what customers use when they manage multiple Counteract boxes through a centralized manager, or if they're a very small customer and they only have 1 or 2 boxes and they don't have the central manager, can install the licenses individually to that box as well. So that element is not changing. We're keeping that as is. So let's delve deeper a little bit into the packaging and naming component that I referred to. So on the left part of the slide here, what I'm showing is the current 7 modules that we have. As I indicated, these are currently packaged as families of third-party integrations. So the ATD integration module, for example, supports integrations with these 5 advanced threat detection products that I've got listed under there: FireEye, Palo Alto Wildfire, Bromium, Damballa, and Mincia, and so on and so forth. So the first change we're making is basically splitting these bundles or family packages that we have, and we're going to basically sell modules for the particular product that you want to orchestrate with. So if you want to have Counteract orchestrate with FireEye, we'll have the customer purchase the ForeScout module for FireEye. Now, there are a couple of drivers to make this happen. As we increase our orchestration modules, we often start seeing products that don't necessarily fit into families very neatly. They can fit in multiple families. There are also some brand new products that, quite honestly, don't even have an analyst-defined family yet. So as we scale this part of our business, this is the right approach to go, because it's simple. It doesn't create artificial families that we have to create, and it's also widely accepted in the industry. When you look at companies like Splunk, et cetera, that have integrations with 50, 100 plus vendors, this is sort of the naming convention, the packaging convention that's followed, because a customer is buying exactly what they need. Now, the other thing you may notice here is that we are changing the nomenclature in a little bit, in that we are dropping the word integration from the name of our modules. And it's a very deliberate reason for doing that. We have heard from customers as well as from industry analysts that the word integration sometimes devalues what we're actually providing. We're providing security orchestrations where there are new automated workflows, new response workflows that we are providing that customers couldn't even imagine without using our modules. And so when you use the word integration, oftentimes the customer may think of product X sharing some data with product Y, and that's an integration. And our modules are really just not that. They go far and above and beyond that. So we are deliberately dropping the term integration because we don't want to devalue the value proposition of our modules and just position them as integrations. Now, a couple of small notes here about those of you who guys have been doing business with us for a while. You guys know that in our SIM integration module, we used to include a capability that allows you to integrate with any SIM that speaks Ceph. Ceph is a common event format, and that capability was part of our SIM module. We are now making it a base module, and what that means is that customers don't really have to pay, or it's not licensed separately. It is licensed as part of our Counteract capabilities. The other thing is that we have a module called Open Integration Module, which is meant for customers to create their own integrations, or meant for you guys to help customers create their own integrations. That is staying as is. We are still providing that in addition to all of the modules that integrate or orchestrate directly with other third-party products. So that's the new packaging and naming. And now let's look at the SKUs that are going to support this new packaging and naming. So on the left, I'm showing you the SKUs that we currently have for our modules, and there are SKUs for each of our 7 modules, and they are available in different capacities, in capacities of 100 to 10,000 endpoints. So they're available in 6 capacities. And in today's world, the feedback that we got from you guys, as well as our customers, was that let's take an example where a customer wants to order 27,000 endpoints off the ATD module, let's say. In that case, we have to quote them, and they have to purchase 2 times 10,000 plus 1 times 5,000 plus 2 times 1,000, and it becomes a kind of an artificial way of deriving that 27,000 number. And so one of the things we're doing as part of simplifying our naming and our packaging is also we're simplifying our SKU structure. We're going to have a single SKU per module in the new world, and I've shown you some examples here on the right side. That's not a complete list. That's just an list of 5 modules there, and each of those SKUs is for 100 endpoints. And depending upon what the total number of endpoints the customer needs, they just, you take that SKU, you multiply it by the quantity, and you've got a single price point, a single SKU to deal with for all of your modules. Now, we do license our MDM module slightly different from the other. Since the MDM module is really relevant only to mobile devices, it needs to be licensed for the total number of mobile devices that you're managing via the Counteract inventory, whereas our other modules need to be licensed for all of the devices or endpoints that are managed via the Counteract inventory. In addition to our license SKUs, I mentioned that our licensing is perpetual. We also, just like today, continue to offer 1-year and 3-year active SKUs, which is our maintenance and support offering for all of our modules. So now that we've talked about the packaging, naming, and SKU changes, let's talk about how we're going to transition from the old to the new world. Because whenever you make this kind of transition, there is a period of overlap where the old and the new are going to coexist for a while. So the first thing to note is that there is a new Counteract version, our Service Pack 2.3, which enables this new packaging and licensing. And what I mean by that is that prior versions of Counteract don't really understand the new world, right? So for the new SKUs and the new packaging and the new licensing, customers must be running this latest version of the Service Pack 2.3. Now, what does this really mean to you guys? When you're talking to a brand new ForceGuard customer, a customer who hasn't bought anything, it's a brand new logo for us, really, you don't have to worry about this at all, because the new customer always starts with the latest version of a software. They don't ever say, I'm going to start with a version of software that's 1 year old. So really ignore the fact. For them, there has never been an old world. There hasn't been a way where they've ever been exposed to how we used to do things in the past. The way we're going to do things starting now is the way that they're always going to see. However, for existing ForceGuard customers, there are a little bit more complex scenarios. They may have purchased modules from us in the past, and they're going to purchase them slightly differently, or they may or may not purchase them slightly differently. I'll show you on the next slide. And generally, if they want to purchase more modules, you'll have to understand, have they upgraded to the latest version of Counteract Service Pack 2.3 or not? Because if they haven't, then the product isn't going to understand the new packaging. So let's take a look at some of the existing customer scenarios now, because new customer, brand new ForceGuard customer is not an issue at all. You don't have to worry about them at all. Now, I've shown 4 scenarios on this slide. I'm going to walk through each of these 4 scenarios. If it's a brand new ForceGuard customer, like I just said, they want to purchase, they want to orchestrate with FireEye NX. They're going to always start with the latest version of the Counteract software. Today it's 2.3. In the next quarter, we may have a newer version, the 2.3, whatever version it is, as long as it's higher than 2.3 that they're running, you're going to basically quote them and sell them using the new SKUs and the new licensing. Now, if you've got an existing customer And they are looking to orchestrate with FireEye NX because they've really understood the capabilities and the use cases that this brings to their security environment. In that case, we have to verify what version they are running. Over the next few months, most of these customers are going to upgrade to 2.3. So in most cases, the answer is going to be yes, I am on 2.3. But maybe for the next 90 days or so, we have to be a little bit more careful and cognizant of this. If they are at 2.3, obviously you can sell them the new way. But if they've not yet upgraded to 2.3, they're one of two options. Either they upgrade or we still use the old packaging and SKUs to sell them modules. And that is going to be allowed. I'll show you the timeline here in the next couple of slides. That's going to be allowed for an extended period of time till the end of this year, primarily for this reason, because we don't want to have a customer who may not be able to upgrade to 2.3. And wants to purchase our modules. We don't want to say, okay, you can't really purchase our modules. Now, why is a customer, you guys are very familiar with our customers, but a lot of medium to large customers have very strict change control cycles. They go through, upgrades every 6 months or maybe even every 9 months. So when we do put out new versions of our product, there's always a lag. They may say that I really can't upgrade until my October upgrade window that's coming up or my December upgrade window that's coming up. So that's really the reason why this thing becomes important, because if you tell a customer, hey, got to upgrade to 2.3, their answer may be, can't do that until October. Now, there are some other simpler scenarios here where let's look at an expansion, license expansion. Customer has 30,000 endpoints of the ATD license. They're growing pretty fast, or they made an acquisition of another bank, and they want to buy 20,000 more licenses. You're going to keep them on the same track. Whatever they bought in the past, they bought the old module style, you're just going to sell them 20,000 more of the same. And, of course, the same thing goes with renewal. If they want to renew their existing maintenance on their existing licenses, you're just going to quote it with the old SKU. So those are pretty straightforward examples. So really the only scenario here is that the middle scenario on this slide that I've shown, where we have to ensure and understand what version the customer is running. And this is probably something that we have to do for the next 90 days to 180 days, the next 3 to 6 months, after which most of our customers will already be on 2.3. And so this is a pre-sales checklist before you quote using the old SKUs or the new SKUs. Now, another question that I often get is, can my existing customer who's purchased a bunch of ForScout modules in the past using those old family SKUs, can they mix and match? And the answer is yes, they can obviously mix and match once they upgrade to 2.3, but there are some conditions under which they can mix and match. They can only mix and match for different integration families. So let me explain to you with this example that I've got. Let's say they've got a few licenses, 20,000 licenses of the SIM integration module because they use it today for integration with HP ArcSight. And that's the only module they have. They don't have a VA integration module. Now, if they want to buy 20,000 more licenses for endpoints to integrate with HP ArcSight. In this case, they cannot mix and match. They can't use the new SKU. They'll have to continue using the old ATD integration module SKU. But if they want to, for example, purchase now our VA integration for integrating with Qualys VM, since they never purchased anything on the family, on the VA family, they can use the new SKUs for those customers because there they can mix and match. So basically the idea is within the same family you don't mix and match, but across families you're able to. And again, this is purely relevant to existing customers. For brand new logos, they'll always purchase the new way. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the timeline of this overlap that we're offering. The ForScout price list was issued to our distributors on April 11th at the beginning of this quarter. That was our Q2 price list. And on the Q2 price list, both the new a la carte module SKUs that I showed are available, as well as the old integration module SKUs, the family SKUs, are also available during a transition period. So you can sell it both ways, as I showed in the previous scenario slides. Now, a couple of things to remember with respect to last order dates. For the integration module bundle that we are discontinuing, we know that there are probably some existing opportunities and existing quotes out there. As we always do on our standard basis, we offer a 60 to 90-day period for you guys, 60 to 90-day notice to you guys on SKUs that we're discontinuing. So we're following the exact same process here. Those orders with those SKUs will be accepted until June 30th, until the end of this quarter, for brand new opportunities, for brand new ForScout customers. Of course, as I showed in the previous slide, for existing customers that have bought IMB and they want to buy some more licenses of that, or they want to renew it, you can continue using the old SKUs for renewals and license expansions. The key thing to see here is that we're not migrating existing customers from the old to the new until sometime in 2017. That's not a discussion that we want to enter right now. For the other modules, for the non-integration module bundle, those can be used for new opportunities until December 31st, because we know that there may be some customers who may be running pre-2.3 and they can't buy the new SKUs. So we believe by December 31st, our entire install base will be on 2.3, so we will at that point no longer have to sell to new customers that way. Again, for existing customers that have already bought, they want to renew, they want to expand, you continue using those old SKUs that are going to be available to you for renewals and license expansions. Now, I've given you a lot of information about what to do with existing customers versus new customers, and I want to provide like this summary, which is sort of the rules of the game on how to go about thinking about our extended modules over the next 6 months or so. And at that point, pretty much the transition will be behind us, and you'll only be thinking about the new world. So, like I said, brand new customers, always quote them and sell them the new way using the new SKUs. Existing ForScout customers are the area where you have to dig a little bit deeper and depends on the purchase scenarios that I outlined in the previous slides. For renewals and license expansions for existing customers, no op, you always just use the old SKUs. You don't have to think about that. So that's really the way to think about this. And there's no migration of the module install base that we're currently planning. So they continue using the old SKUs. Now, a very important point, we don't want to impact your current business. We know that you've got existing quotes out there with existing SKUs, so do not bother about, even if it's for brand new ForScout logos, if it's going to impact deal closure or timing, the idea is continue with whatever you are currently doing if you're in late stages of an opportunity. If you're in very early stages and these are just budgetary quotes, then you may take this opportunity if it's a brand new ForScout customer to quote them a new way. But this transition that we've designed has been designed for zero impact to business. And finally, if you have any questions, for existing customers especially, because that's where the complex use case is, contact your ForScout account manager and make sure that we are doing the right thing for that particular customer when they want to purchase our orchestration modules. So that's pretty much what I had to cover today. If you remember those 5 things, I think you're going to be golden. This is a great opportunity. Actually, orchestration is a great opportunity for ForScout when we talk to customers and when you guys talk to customers about the vision of orchestration. They really light up. They understand the need. They understand the value that it will bring to them. So let's go sell a lot more modules. And make a lot of money and make all of us more sticky in our customer accounts. At this point, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Yeah, so just feel free to use the chat if you have a question so that we can help answer accordingly. And just as a reminder, and I may have faded out in the beginning, the session is being recorded and we will provide afterwards. In addition to that, we are sending out a survey, so we want to hear from you on how we can improve this in the future. So please complete those surveys.
So I see that there's a question on the, sorry, go ahead, Stacy.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Andy.
I see that there's a question on the chat window. The question is there still a module to integrate with Checkpoint? So we have a concept of base modules and extended modules. Extended modules are the ones that are licensed and priced separately. We do offer a number of base integrations with switches, routers, wireless access points, with various types of endpoints. And we have a module that we offer for integration with Checkpoint, with Firewall 1 and Checkpoint. So that particular base module is still available. It has never been priced and licensed separately, and that stays, remains as is. So please let me know if I answered your question. This question was from L.I., I think it's Foska, if I said your name correctly.
So I don't see any other questions in the chat or Q&A at this time. So everyone, thank you for joining. We're really appreciative of the partnership, and you will be invited to participate in more and more webinars as we move along in improving our communications and awareness around trainings, as well as how to add more value to your selling cycles when selling Forescout products. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.